Greetings, Montaisa here, and let's play Europa Universalis Rome, Part 2. So, last time we conquered our neighbors over here in Iberia, so we now have 5 provinces. As when we look at the population, Mesquite doesn't have much, but it does produce iron. Iberia has a better population, and it does have grain, which is actually one of the best, most important resources in the long run. Increased population growth does mean that in the end your provinces will have more population, which means more income, more manpower and more research. And now, unlike in the last video, the costs have updated, so we can see that we are going to have to wait a little bit longer for our next level. This game, research is one of the weak points, I think. So each level provides some small bonus, different depending on which technology, but the main thing is that it may trigger some discoveries. Here we see those that from land technology 1. One problem with a bunch of those is that they are meant for tribes, but if I recall correctly, the requirement is that the civilization level in their capital must not be above 35. Yeah, Roxolani, they have 31, so they can get. But pretty much every other tribe has 35 unless they have managed to get themselves sacked by barbarians or something. So, and generally when playing you want to increase your civilization level because it increases your research. And let's invoke a Noman, and also chances are only 40%. The top one, which is the trade income one, is the one I generally go for. Successful, great. If I fail, not that bad. Our support limit is now 3 compared to the one we started with. When we look here at our economy, well, because we play low and the trade income is a bit lower, you can see most of our income is coming from taxes. We can now try to set up some more trade routes between these 3 provinces. Well, there are no available provinces over here they can trade with. Unless they're not coastal, we can't set up a trade route between, say, Mesquite and Paphlagonia. In order to have distant trade routes over land, they need to be connected with provinces with roads that have road networks, such as Sofena. And if there are many different countries along the road network, we'll also need to, over here, there is something here that trade access, but that's something there's really no reason to bother with. We're going to set up some grain here in Mesquite. It has the lowest population of all our provinces. Well, it has 5.7. So, well, let's give it to Swanee, so Swanee can grow. And our manpower, our max manpower is now almost 16,000. It was about 9,000 before our war. So apart from the fact that the next technology level will take some extra time, it was a net win. We have better income, we can afford a larger army, and we are going to have more manpower. But when we can train it, we need to let it build up again, and that can take some time. When it comes to this game, some main problems it is after all a mix between European Versailles and Crusader Kings, but when it comes to strategy, what I talked a bit about in the last video about, it's tend to end up with a few big blobs, not much diplomacy between them. So, some for a general and a daughter, twins. Good for him. And one other thing that makes a problem with the diplomacy is here the religion. We have a religious map mode. You can see we here shamanism, all this green stuff here. This green over here, this light green, that's druidism. Closest we contact with that religion over here is Telis. And here we have animism. All these green ones are in the same group, so we start off with better relations with everyone in the same group. But the relations with countries that have religions from a different group, well, low relations, hard to actually get diplomacy going. That's one of the reasons why I never expected Sparta to accept any trade. Relations are simply too low at the start. Here we have an event for Koji. Well, we can become more suspicious if we want. And the part here in the strategy part, that's actually one thing that the mods for this game actually to various degrees help with. But the problem here with the part of the characters is you're playing a country and the characters do whatever they want. So after all, when he married, we had no choice in the matter. He decided to. It was his choice, and so as you have less control over your characters than Crusader Kings, then they aren't quite important. After all, we are playing the country. We don't care whether he dies with no heir. We're going to get someone anyway. But so in many ways, while the characters are running and doing stuff, you don't have enough control with whoever is in charge at the moment and all the other countries. So it's easy to just not really pay attention to that. Meaning that, well, there are some interesting stuff that happens, as well, you aren't really too bothered about that. Well, it's not as interested, and you don't get well, when you're playing Crusader Kings, you are playing a character, you end up focusing much more on all the interpersonal relationships and all that. Also in Crusader Kings, so there are more. This is something that doesn't happen that often. I think the governor, or maybe it was some rebels that managed to actually control this area, declared independence. It doesn't really happen that often. I think it may have been rebels. So we have a new country, Baetica, the Republic. Current Archon is Viriatus Kulkid. Yeah. As you can see, things aren't going too well for the Seleucids. That's a good thing. And I'm going to gather my army into one. I think I'm going to hire one unit of cavalry and some more heavy infantry, and then I'm going to go here and try to, well, keep these rebels here in check. After all, as I said before, if they don't, they become more and more powerful, more likely to But well, it's a good thing that the destroyer commander is the one that's not going to be in charge of the army. When you have the two arms and you join them together, the general will be whoever is most competent. Well, now trade was successful. We still make more money from taxes. One day, our current mission is to get loyal soldiers for our ruler. One thing I don't like about these missions is that they are timed, so in about 4 years we failed this mission. One thing to be successful, even if your ruler is as incompetent as Kuyi, is that you can have 2 armies. So if we wanted to, we could have one small army of 1,000 men led by Osir Savakid and have the rest led by Kuji, and when they fight, since Osiris is the most competent one, he will lead army, but all those units that are in the army led by Kuji, if they become loyal to someone, they will become loyal to Kuji. As you can see about how much attention I really pay to those events, you can see how well the character stuff really work. Yeah, this army should listen up. One tactic some people use is to send one small unit of mercenaries. The the barbarians will rise up, kill those mercenaries so that you don't care about. Moving your whole army there can result in some attrition, but Osiris is competent enough that it's not a problem over here. Thank you. Let's see, the population over here in the Bosporan King is low enough that we are probably going to do the same thing over here in Syrakus. I wouldn't try to rouse the barbarians in Syrakus if the Bosporans was in a position to actually colonize it, but in order to colonize the province we need a population of at least 10. So here, population is too low, but here population is now over 10, but we can't colonize from Iberia because the civilization level is too low. So in order to colonize, the civilization level must be 50 or higher, and the population needs to be 10 or higher. And colonization will take some population from the capital and the neighboring province and put them in the new province. Well, the media got beaten up by the Carthaginians. And well, let's see what kind of peace this Seleucids managed to get. Things are not going their way. With Egyptians all over there. Yeah, by the coast of the Caspian Sea. One safe omen if you are at peace and you don't want to risk reducing income, even if it's not by much, is these here that increase the discipline and morale. If you're not in any fighting, it doesn't matter what your discipline is, but it will be stupid for us to do that now, considering that our army is over here to try to rouse the barbarians. Well, if we're walking, that seems to sometimes increase the chances of successfully getting them to move. The Seleucids lost one province and paid 111 gold. Oh. Instruction for take the wrong button. Quick diplomacy. Egypt have plenty of manpower left. Seleucids don't. They have no money left either, and -3 stability. They're not in a good shape. Let's hope that the Armenians can manage to beat them up some. I'd rather have a decent, powerful Armenia over here rather than having Seleucid Empire. Let's see, our manpower is covering well. Macedonia going to war against the Achaean League. Neither side have any allies. Oh, here we have the barbarians. We beat them up, they are running to Syracuse, let's pursue them. One thing it would be nice to check, see what quality their commander has. Since it's completely random, sometimes the barbarians have someone that is competent, just like Ustroes, and sometimes they have someone that makes Kuyi seem competent by comparison. Here we defeated them, we got some slaves, and we didn't get any money, but that's because they didn't run around pillaging provinces. If, let's say, some barbarians would appear here in Taurica and march over here and sack provinces here and we beat them up here, then we would get money. And we have some rebels, so we need to deal with that. These provinces are going to come from us after some time. Yeah, our general is better. All our stairs seem to will. Let's move this way, hopefully beat them up, and then we still then need to deal with potential barbarians over here in Hallands and Aorsi. Well, not really that much, I would say. The barbarians tend to go towards the most civilized, the highest civilization provinces, so there's decent bet that some barbarians over here might go straight south to try to reach Seleucia. One can always hope anyway. As you can see, these barbarians are now marching towards Phanagoria. I don't think they may be successful. Let's wish them luck. They don't like the Bosporans, so they get beaten up some by barbarians. Took care of the rebels. The standard rebels that appear, one thing to note about them is, while they don't have any general, they will be considered to have a general with a military ability of 7. Osiris has 9. 7 can be regarded as average of what you want when it comes to what you actually want for your. As you can see, the barbarians disappeared without them before they came back with their province, which does. Yeah, they lost their war. Probably didn't have any real army, so. If you have barbarians in your province, there is a small negotiate barbarians button here. So, the options are either just pay them to go away, but if they have occupied the province, you can try to either just settle them as population in the province, or turn them into a small client state. You will rarely do either option. You still preferably just beat them up, but you're not always capable. So there's an Atropatene to Armenia. That's great for us. Let's see what the Armenians say. As you can see, with the sort countries by relations, well, they want trade access. Why not? It doesn't really do anything, but as you can see, the number of countries that actually have good relationships with are limited, and most of them are a long way, but things are looking nice with Armenia. We do have small advantage of being in the same culture group. In the Eastern culture groups, Armenians, Spartans, Persians, Medians, Iberi, Assyrians. One fun thing, while culture is, I would say, is more important than religion really in this game, there is no cultural map mode. We'll have the terrain map mode, which looks nice but isn't really that useful, although there are some effects of terrain in fighting in mountains. The political, which is more useful since you can see what provinces are controlled by what countries. The regional map mode, where the regions are what decides where you need governors, since everything here is in the same region. Kui deals with that, but if we would conquer these provinces, they are in a different region, so they would need a governor. And this one reduces the revolt risk, although I think the actual revolt risk here comes from increased taxation and yeah, nationalism, and it can't really go below that. So those barbarians are dealt with. So the only province here with barbarian presence are the Legai, Albania, and Uti. Station or armor in Iberia. Well, there are barbarians here. They are unlikely to actually rise up, and if we did something, Pontus would colonize the province. And they're allied with Rhodes and the Bosporan Kingdom. Their alliance with Rhodes doesn't matter. Their alliance with the Bosporan Kingdom might. After all, the Bosporans are our neighbours, and we're okay neighbours with Pontus as well. And war would require us to fight both of them. And but I think, since I don't want these episodes to go on too long, so while we haven't done much more than dealing with some barbarians, and well, our manpower is where it started, that's because we actually have been fighting and increasing our army during this time. So but in the end, I think it's time to end here, so I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.